Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to another live weekly installment. 1/6 unboxing, discussions, hot toys, whatever. Room tours. Nothing I have here is a hot toy today. What I've got going on today is in anticipation. I'm doing great, man. Thank you for asking. In anticipation of the land speeder that Jazz Inc. is making 1/6 scale, which I'm anticipating will probably be done and shipped around September. He posted recently that he's changed the windscreen on it to be clearer and higher, and he's making changes to them. But so I wanted to recreate that classic scene with that beautiful land speeder. I've always loved that land speeder. I remember the first time I seen it, way back when the movie first came out back in the 70s. I was like, man, that is the coolest thing. And then the scene is the iconic scene where Luke and Obi-Wan and C-3PO and R2-D2 are in the back, and they're surrounded by the stormtroopers, and Obi uses the Jedi mind trick, and he's like, these are not the droids you're looking for. And I want to recreate that scene. So I obviously have the R2-D2, the C-3PO. Don't have Luke, don't have Obi-Wan, don't have the Sandtroopers. So I started buying these 1/6 scale inexpensive Sandtroopers. I expect to buy a high quality Sideshow. I'm not sure if Hot Toys ever made a Sandtrooper, but definitely a Sideshow. I got a Medicom here, which I think was, I think they made these before Sideshow started cranking them out. I don't know exactly what the story is on the Medicoms. I have some Hasbros here, which the Hasbros. Well, we'll open them all up here in a second, so we'll get to the point. So welcome, NKSG. I'm doing great, thank you. Mark IV War Machine. I am. Should be coming any day. Well, I don't know. It shouldn't be coming any day. I'll probably get mine in 2 months. You know how that goes. Is this light flickering on your screen? It sure is. What in the world? I hate that. I don't think it's the power cord. I wonder if it's this. Let's turn that off. Let's see if that causes any flicker. And let's turn these guys on. Oh, you know what? See if that makes any difference. I doubt it. All right. So, Noble, welcome. Thank you. Is it too much light now? Is that washing everything out? Sure is, doesn't it? No, should I go back to it? You can see that this is an R5D4 sitting here with the red and all that on it. So leave it like it is. All right. So first thing that I'm going to go over here real quick. I guess this is kind of like the spoiler. That these Hasbro Astromechs are not the same scale as the Hot Toys Astromech. So that's a problem. It isn't really for what my initial intention was, which was to recreate the land speeder scene. But I started seeing all this 1/6 stuff, and I'm like, Gosh, these things are a steal compared to, you know, $200, $300 or more for Hot Toys and size items. So I figured, let's see what's going on here. This is the Hasbro 1/6, and that's the Sideshow 1/6. Big difference. So if you don't have any of the Hot Toys, or actually this is a Sideshow, Astromechs, this will be fine. It's not as high quality. It's not necessarily as true to life, but it's a good representation. If you want to save you some bucks to collect these, I mean, if they're not standing next to anything that's made by Sideshow / Hot Toys, then Sideshow or Hot Toys, then you're not really gonna. It's not gonna bother you, because just holding it in my hand, looking at it, I'm like, you know, the first Star Wars figures I had were the 3-inch Kenner figures made back in the 70s. So I mean, I'm impressed that it's this large in the first place. But compared to this, it's not even close. But it works. I mean, the side legs go forward that much. This could go in and out as such if you wanted to display him as that manner. And of course, the head will spin. He doesn't light up. There's no lighting to him whatsoever. So he does, and this comes in and out, and it's a little bent. It came to me, you know, out of the package, just like this, used. So it works for that purpose of being a representation of R5D4. But it doesn't work in regards to being on the same caliber or quality or representation of a Sideshow R5D4. And Hot Toys announced that they were going to start making these soon as well. They showed one at SDCC. And of course, if I've done a review on this, and he has a little motivator that pops up. You pull on his, I think it's his middle eye, and it will pop up, and it's spring loaded, and the little door opens and closes. And he comes with 2 little antenna here. Comes with 2 of those in case you lose or break one. And he does not come with the arm. I got this off my R2 Lux exclusive, and I don't remember if he comes with the restraining bolt or not. But the doors do open on him. All of these doors open up. This one and these 2 on the side open up as well. Both these red ones here will open. There's no bar, and there's a bar there. There's nothing to hold an accessory. The only place you can hold an accessory on this one is here. The R2s have, the R2D2s have holders in these 2 compartments for holding accessory arms. But all the other Astromechs made by Sideshow only have a spot just in this door to hold anything. Now the other ones also, they open up here. So a couple of them I have customized, if you will, and made them open up. They can do that. You risk breaking it in doing that, and they don't swing. There's no little pin in there, so you'd have to add some form of pivot in there as well. Also, you can, if you feel so inclined, remove the head from the body and put the Sideshow dome, R2 dome on here. If you wanted to make you a red one, it is swappable. You may have to, I don't remember, you may have to separate the silver part from the white in order for it to fit on there better. I don't remember what the process was exactly, but you can swap them out. Let me just do it real quick. I'll show you that. So it's the same body on all of these R2 devices from Sideshow, and that's the same there. So let me grab an R2D2. this guy over here. So this is one of the deluxe ones. Comes with 6 of these arms, and like I said, these open up on him. Don't open up on the others, but the R2 Deluxes, these open up and swivel. They're magnet. You can control them with the magnet as well. And you have Luke's or Anakin's lightsaber, the little radar dome, and the little camera. And he lights up and all that. But anyhow, this can be removed in the same manner that we just took it off of R5D4. And this is the piece you would have to snap off. It's actually glued on, but it can come off. I must have removed it off of the other one. But this piece comes off. There's 3 little pins right here where it's glued on. And you would just snap that off and then place that on here. And then you would be able to... Let me get my other one. I know I've taken it off on that guy. The Hot Toy and the Sideshow is not interchangeable, by the way, in case you were curious. You have to find that little sweet spot. They actually come off on. Come on, there we go. So in this ring, you see there's 3 little pins right there. And then you would just place the pin, this literally, on your R5 unit. And there you have it. And needless to say, vice versa. Should you decide you want to put one of these domes on here with the blue ring removed, fits right on there. And there you go. So that is the 1/6 sideshows, and the Hot Toy is exact same size as the sideshows, but they're not interchangeable. You can't put the Hot Toy's head on the sideshow head. I've tried, and it doesn't go that direction. So, having said all that, as I said when I discovered these really inexpensive Sandtroopers, and if I remember the scene correctly, if you have 6 of these Sandtroopers that are surrounding the land speeder, and I certainly didn't want to spend $1,200 or whatever just on Sandtroopers. They have, you know, the black shoulder and the orange shoulder, and I don't think there's any white shoulder ones in the scene, but I got a white shoulder one also. And so that's where I am in that regards to wanting to, you know, make that the scene of Luke and Obi-Wan, and R2-D2 and C-3PO, the X-34 land speeder, and the Sandtroopers. And trust me, I love Star Wars. I would have been collecting Star Wars a long time ago. Somehow it was the Iron Man that got me into this. Tron was the first thing that I've seen. The light cycle. Oh my God. When I seen that, I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't buy one at the time. But that's what got me looking at Hot Toys. Was that Tron light cycle. Iron Man got me collecting Hot Toys. I was collecting Star Wars back in the day. So that's the all of that. Now that we've realized that those don't work, I don't even know if I want to open this. It's unopened. And I'll probably just turn around and sell it. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm disappointed that it's not to scale with these guys. They call it 1/6 scale. But in my opinion, it isn't. So, if you guys are interested in these, let me know, and we can work something out in that regards. So, I've got, I bought this guy, and I bought these. So, I do want to have a look at this C-3PO, though. But no, the Astromechs are not going to work for me. This also I bought because I wanted to have a C-3PO that I could put on the back of the land speeder. Go staff, how you doing, man? Hot Toys Scarlet Spider reviews started to pop up. Looks like it's a home run. Can't wait for mine. Yeah, I can't believe for 1 second that Black Widow would, or what'd you say? Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider. Oh man, one of my favorite characters from the comics. That was the one that preempted me to try to get in touch with Stan to tell him not to kill him. So this is a used and abused C-3PO. Look at this guy. Boy, he's been around the block. Really? So the material is more flexible on the Scarlet Spider, huh? Oh man, Jack Nicholas. I always get Jack Nicholas and Jack Nicholson confused. One's a golfer and one's played the Joker. One's a golfer, one's a Joker. Let me get my Sideshow C-3PO over here. One of the neatest things I ever seen was about 10 years ago or so, the Symphony put on a Star Wars night where they played the music from Star Wars, and they had there Anthony Daniels, who is famous for being C-3PO, and he more or less told the Star Wars story as though he were speaking to the Ewoks, only he spoke it in English, but he told the Star Wars story with the movie. With the music that the orchestra was playing. It was really cool. So in the 2 hours that the show was, he told the 6 movies that had been out at that point, and it was really cool. It was really cool. So size-wise, these two are similar enough, more so than the size-wise of the Astromechs. So if you are looking for filler, this works in my mind as far as that goes. Now, they're not the same shape. This guy's bulkier. And obviously the attention to detail is in the sideshow one, including the articulation. But for filler, he'll work if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a piece just to put on there and you don't want to spend another $200 or $300 or whatever it is that C-3PO is selling for now, you can always get one of these guys. Because truthfully, C-3PO's articulation is extremely limited because that's just how he is. You can move his knee that much, all right? And you can move his leg that much. Now you can twist it to get it to go in different positions, but he is a standing droid, which means there's going to be a problem trying to get him to sit in the back of that land speeder. All right, so that's why I was looking for something else to go in that area. And then of course the elbows, you have very limited movement again, but that's his character. That's all he moved, was just that much. All right, you do have articulated fingers, and I've done a full review of him before, so this really is secondary in things because we've already gone over all of this. Now on him, if you tap the back of his head and you put the batteries in his neck, his eyes will light up, and these batteries are really dead, so I'm sure you can see it though changing a little bit. It actually gets brighter than that. The batteries are really dead. And he also has some waist articulation. Okay, but not much. I mean, again, he's C-3PO who doesn't move much at all. And what I didn't know forever and a day was that truthfully this leg is silver in the movies 4, 5, and 6. So that's correct, or at least movie 4. He's supposed to have a silver leg. All the toys that I remember when I was younger, this portion of his leg was gold. But yeah, it's supposed to be silver. So this is the sideshow, and he comes with this particular one has the interchangeable arm, so you can take the arm off and do the damaged arm on him and have it all exposed and all that. So he will continue to reside with R2-D2 because he's not going to be able to fit on the back of that land speeder. But this guy I won't mind, busting him up if I have to put him on that land speeder, because I think he cost me $15 or something. I don't even know. It was real inexpensive. I don't remember. Now I also have then this one, which I think is the same figure, and this is made by Kenner, 1997. It may or may not be the same figure. I wouldn't mind a Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume, the original May Parker. Did the symphony play the Cantina? Of course they did. Yeah, of course they played all the popular music. Darth Vader's Imperial March and the beginning of Star Trek, or Star Wars, and Cantina, and all the music from the 6 movies that were out at that point: 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, and 3. And it was really cool, and to have Anthony Daniels as C-3PO tell the story in his voice, it was really cool to hear all that. So yeah, this looks like the same piece, only not all beat to hell and back. This one looks like it's never been opened. So this will work for me on the back of land speeder. And that was up in Cleveland where I heard that about 10 years ago. I don't remember how long ago that was. I think it was the Cleveland Symphony that did it. Symphony Orchestra. 1997, 22 years he's been in his box. 22 years. To some degree, thank you guys that buy your figures, leave them in the box and never touch them. Because I have a brand new toy here. Another side of the coin. What the hell are you thinking? Get it out of the box, put it on display, play with the stupid thing. You spent money on it. Enjoy it. Hey, thank you, you guys that do that, because that gives me the opportunity to be able to buy a brand new piece 22 years later. By the way, also, I'm sure you guys heard Rutger Hauer died. I don't remember everything that he said, but it's quite possible that he would have said that, because what he was doing was, if you remember from The Return of the Jedi, he was telling the stories of everyone to the Ewoks. Of course, he was speaking it in their language, but he was telling the story. So you imagine, C-3PO loves to talk. So it was, him telling the stories to somebody who had never seen the movies, more or less. So, like I said, I don't remember everything he said. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. What a night that was. And I don't remember everything that was said at all. I just remember it happening and really enjoying it. And it was really cool. And I don't know how many cities that they went on tour with and did that with, but I feel very lucky to have been a part of that, to see that. It's really, really, really neat. So anyhow, Rutger Hauer, I don't know if you guys know who Rutger Hauer is. He has done some science fantasy movies in his lifetime, and some science fiction movies. Most famously, as far as I'm concerned, he played the character Roy Batty from the original Blade Runner. And I know the younger generation doesn't appreciate the original Blade Runner. And it's because, from their viewpoint, they've seen it all, done it all, know it all. And when Blade Runner first came out, 35 years ago, there was nothing quite like it. And it was a shock and thought-provoking, and which nowadays everybody and their brother has a similar story. So anyhow, Rutger Hauer's character, Roy Batty, had a very famous line at the end of the movie that, from my understanding, I was told that he ad-libbed it. It wasn't actually written into the script. About, his last lines are, "I've seen things you people would not believe." And I don't remember exactly what he says, something to the effect of, "Battleships ablaze off of the shoulder of Orion, sea beams off of the Tannhauser gates," or something to that effect. "And all these memories will be lost like tears in rain. Time to die." So we lost him. He died a couple days ago. Tears in rain. He did Lady Hawk, which was a science fantasy movie. I don't remember all the movies he did, but he was, pretty pretty effective actor with his movies. Tears in Rain. What a line. Okay, so now looking at this isn't the same figure. I'll tell you that much right now. Thought it was at first. But I don't think it's as bulky. As this guy is. Yeah, no, he's not. So what is this? This is a 1978. This is a 1978 C-3PO. This dude's 41 years old. My, how times have changed. The quality of our toys. $1978. Sheesh. 1997. 2000. What does that say? $2015. So now these are really close in scale. These guys are. Shoulder width is very similar. The hips are a little funky on this guy. And he's all gold. I don't remember when he was all gold. I thought they always were all gold, but obviously now looking back at the movies, his leg is silver in at least four. So he has some waist articulation here. He's so tight. Can't, there's no bicep pivot here. We have obviously the shoulder up and down, but no bicep pivot. I don't know if I can get him into a full-on sit here. Gosh, I don't know what to do now for my land speeder that is going to require C-3PO to be sitting. He's actually sitting with his knees bent behind Luke. Gosh, I don't know if I want to destroy this piece or that piece. Tough decision. Pretty funny how Obi-Wan sent Luke to a sand planet, told him to move to Anakin's high ground. That's funny. And when Abrams, what's going on, man? Really awesome couple of figures you have there, Siri. Congrats on the find. Yeah, thanks. It wasn't really like I was looking at price. I wasn't really going for, looking for something that was actually possibly, of historical importance. I was just wanting to get something that'll work. And I was hoping that I could put one of these guys on the back of a land speeder. And I'm scared now to do that. I don't want to, jeez. You know what I mean? So this is as far as his knees will go, period. Period. Man. It's almost like I like this guy. And he's bright and shiny. And I'm wondering if maybe at the end of A New Hope, when they got him all cleaned up, it wasn't called A New Hope back then. It was just called Star Wars. If that was a good representation of that. This is definitely straight out of Tatooine here. This guy is. No doubt about it. Sheesh. You know, golly. It makes me almost want to say that what I need to do is get a hold of another one of these and chop them up. But wait, we have one more C-3PO to have a look at. A Hasbro C-3PO. Sideshow. This was Kenner. 1997 Kenner, which I don't know. I don't remember if Kenner was in business in 1997. I think it was actually another company that was making it. I don't remember if Kenner was still in business then. Kenner was in business. This guy was made. They were the ones that made all the Star Wars. They had it, man. They had it. Somebody screwed up there when they didn't continue. It says GMFGI. It doesn't say Kenner. GMFGI 1978, made in Hong Kong. Don't know, guys. Don't know who that is. So, I don't know about opening this. I was really excited about getting an R2A6. Not the right scale, though. So let's get this guy out, because I want to have a look at this C-3PO here. And this also is Hasbro 2015. And I was excited because the R4LO in here. No interest in the BB-8. I've got 2 BB-8s made by Hot Toys and the BB-9 that worked for me. No passion for those droids though, but I am curious as to how big he is in comparison to those guys. So let's see how C-3PO is attached here. Little plastic pieces. He looks a lot smaller. He is a lot smaller. I'm not going to take him out. He's smaller. He's the Hasbro scale. It's really not 1/6. So the next size down from 1/6 is 1/7. So I'm going to say these guys are probably 1/7 scale. I'm not going to continue to unbox him because there's somebody out there that wants him in this capacity. And I was really excited about the red arm, but I'm not going to mess with them anymore. I'm going to put them back in the box. But you have a BB-8, R4LO, and the Force Awakens. I forget which Star Wars it is with the red arm. But there's a story to that too. You can find neat little humanitarian, if you will, story for that. But I'm not going to continue with this guy. I'm not going to destroy him. Somebody's going to be very happy with it. And the R2A6 and the R5D4. You know, if any of y'all want that, or if you know anybody that wants this, or you have anybody that's looking for these to give as to their kid for gifts or whatever, ages 4 and up, it's just not going to work for me. I'm sorry, because they're out of scale, and I want to keep them to the scale. These guys work. They are similarly scaled 1/6 scale, and they'll do their job. But I think for, man, the back of the land speeder, what do I do? Do I drop another $200 on one of these and bust his legs up so he can go into the back of the land speeder? because even his joints don't go back far enough. So, what do you think? It's tough, isn't it? Tough decision. Got a couple of months to decide on that. I have to track down a Luke and an Obi-Wan. Alec Guinness says Obi-Wan. Really cool. This guy here is truly what a find. And this guy, I don't. Does anybody know what this GMFGI is? GMFGI. Is it a knockoff back then, even? Let me know what you find out. If you know anything, tell me. Hook me up. Comment in the section below. Really awesome couple of figures here. Thank you. Ghost Dad, what are your thoughts regarding the Hot Toys Iron Patriot from in-game? Price sucks. I agree. But I'll probably buy it. I've already pre-ordered it. Man, if I see these guys that put their pre-order list up, and I say to myself, I should put my pre-order list up. I have it on an Excel spreadsheet, and it's about left to right, about that long of stuff that I have pre-ordered. It never ends. It never ends. All right, so I don't have any Stormtroopers before this purchase. I have a Medicom that came as well, and he was $130 or something, I guess. I don't remember. And it looks just like the Sideshow packaging. It does say Medicom Sideshow on it. Here on the back. Somewhere on there. So it makes me believe that this is what became the Sideshow toys. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys know and you can share with me and tell me what it is. Yeah, some figure surgery is unfortunately looking to be the only option. Yeah, I agree with you. Which one do I tear up? Do I tear up one of the older ones, or do I buy a new Sideshow C-3PO and cut him up? Which one should I put the surgery to get him to fit in the back of the land speeder? That's the question. Because I do need to have a C-3PO standing with R2-D2. And I do like the Sideshow C-3PO. He works. So what you think? My NECA Alien Queen plastic stand cracked. Oh no. Well, super glue is an amazing product, and you could find some videos where people actually take super glue and mix it with baking soda or baking powder, I forget, and they're able to make it into like this paste. And I mean, they're able to. It blew my mind watching this guy fix a guitar neck in that manner. So you can fix virtually anything with super glue. I keep on hand always super glue. It's also called cyanoacetate or something to that effect. Ca glue, super glue, and rubber cement, model glue, and Elmer's school glue, white glue. For depending on what type of fix that I'm wanting to go with. Super glue doesn't glue everything. There are times when super glue won't glue something for whatever reason, and I don't understand how that really works or it doesn't work. So I'll use the model glue, but the model glue takes a heck of a lot longer to dry. So if you're using that, then you would, just need to make sure you set it aside. Don't touch it for a long time. Super glue will adhere in a minute. Probably the super glue with the baking soda. I think it's baking soda that they use. You find it on YouTube. You'll find these people that have done it on YouTube. Ca glue is what they call it. I think super glue is actually a name brand. but CA glue is not. And you can buy that. I buy them for Harbor Freight, HFT super glue for dirt cheap. And always have. Right over here is my little repair bundle right there. My Elmer's glue, my super glue, and my Tester's model glue to be able to fix things. As a matter of fact, my Ant-Man took a dive for whatever reason last night off of the shelf, and my King Arts 1/9 scale Ant-Man, the arm came apart, the bicep from the shoulder, and so I had to glue that back together. And I really didn't want to glue it back together because it's supposed to be able to move, but he'll never be moved from this position. I have him in the position that I want him in, and that's where he will always be. So I've now glued his arm together. And first I put Elmer's glue, and it wasn't tacky enough. And then I tried the model cement, and I wanted it to to grip quicker. So then I accelerated it to the super glue. So I try it all, and depends on what you think is going to work for that. Like I said, check it out on YouTube. You might find making the mixture with, I think it's baking soda. I don't remember if it's baking soda or baking powder. I don't remember. I think it's baking soda that they mix it with, and it turns it into like this paste, and you can repair cracks and stuff, and make it super super strong. But that's my opinion. We also have General Mills Fun Group Incorporated own Kenner. Well, how about that? So this was then before Kenner actually put their names on it. They put the General Mills Fun Group Incorporated on it. So this is an original Kenner from 1978. And that's kind of a, I don't know, brownish that he's flaking off. He's totally flaking. What's going on there? If you can see that. Thank you. My legit C-3PO. And, it's funny. Holding a figure is 41 years old. From the original Star Wars, back when, this was exciting to me. There was nothing on the planet like it that anyone had seen. And it's neat. He's in no way the quality that they make today. But he's been around the block. He's got a story or two to tell, don't you think? How many kids do you think enjoyed him growing up? I wonder how many times he's been passed around the block. So let's get this Medicom out of here. And again, thank you guys for not opening your figures. I don't get it. I don't. So I'm expecting this to be pretty good quality. I guess. I'm hoping I'm not expecting too much. It's so funny when the first movie came out, and I will always call Star Wars 4 the first movie. That's the first movie. It wasn't called Star Wars 4 A New Hope. It was Star Wars. There was no 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3. We knew that there were prequels to it, or a prequel to it, because here I am when Star Wars had come out. I'm reading all the little magazines and stuff that were coming out, and George Lucas was in an interview. He was telling about the prequels, talking about. He said in that I remember that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader had fought on the rim of a volcano, and Obi-Wan had knocked him into the volcano, was what the interpretation was at that point. So it hadn't been fleshed out into it being an entire planet that was just like a volcanic planet or whatever, or something to that effect, that it became in the movie. But the premise was already there. And he said that he started with, he had them in groups of 3, And he said he started with 4, 5, and 6 because he said 1, 2, and 3 just wasn't a strong enough story to get anyone's interest, and that's why he started with 4, 5, and 6. We knew all of that, but we didn't call it 4, Star Wars 4, A New Hope. It wasn't called that. It was just called Star Wars. So to me, that's the first movie. So anyhow, don't know why I went on that tangent again. Anyhow, oh, now I remember now. So when the first movie came out and they were talking about all these stormtroopers and Princess Leia had made the comment about, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? We really didn't know that the stormtroopers were all clones of Boba Fett or Jango Fett. I forget. Jango Fett, right? And which, of course, explained their weak-mindedness that Obi-Wan was able to take advantage of. And these are not the droids you're looking for. And so it didn't make any sense. So it's important that the stormtroopers be the same height in the sandtroopers. And I don't know what the difference between a sandtrooper and a stormtrooper are. They look the same to me. And I thought they were all stormtroopers back in the day. But now everyone has their own specialty. So this guy's been out of the box. Did a really good job taping him back up. I can tell he's been out of the box. That's fine. Because trust me, if I ever sell my figures, they've been out of the box. They've been on a shelf. They've probably been dropped a time or two. Just know that. Don't be too angry. But they've been all loved. They've all been loved. And I have the shippers. So should I die, and my daughter decides she wants to start selling these bad boys, there'll be a lot of figures for sale. No figure stand, clear rod holders here. Can't see them because they're clear, which is nice. It looks like one goes around possibly the leg, and this one looks like it could possibly go around the waist. It's hard to say. And then we have a little round stand there. That is neat. I don't know if I'll use them for my Sandtrooper, but it definitely can be used for something else. No doubt about that. So he feels vinyl. Like PVC. Where this guy feels like hard. So I imagine, I don't know. I would imagine then that the new ones would feel like this. I have no idea. I don't have a Sideshow Stormtrooper. I have this Metacom. My first one. So I have nothing to compare them with as of yet. But for right now, this is the standard, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, this is creepy. That's a Stormtrooper. Right there. Look at that. That's what they look like. Oh my God. They have no face. What the hell? That's pretty cool. I'd never hey, this is beyond my every thought process. I didn't expect for 1 second for there to be a human style head under this helmet. I've just been blown away. Oh my God, it looks like Jean-Luc Picard. Doesn't it look like Patrick Stewart? Maybe I'm thinking that just because he's bald. No belief that this would pop off and there would be a head under there. So these were made, what's the year on this? Oh, geez. I don't see a year anywhere. 2007. 12 years old. He appears totally disassemblable. It looks like I can take everything off him. Like I were making a cosplayer. I'm not going to. Is limited foot pivot here, limited ankle pivot. Get almost a 90-degree bend there. But it looks like I can strip him right down to, you know, this black uniform or you know, undersuit, if you will. Little pouches here on each side. You know, it's funny. I remember on my Sandtroopers when I was a kid, the back of them and C-3PO look very much alike. I'm impressed that there's actually somebody underneath this. I had no idea. This is probably second nature to some of you guys, but I was just blown away. I expected this to be like a helmet that pops off, like Tony Stark, you know. Didn't actually expect a body in here. Seems pretty tight, considering. Shouldn't have any problem storing him, posing him. Comes with two relaxed hands. Comes with a, it's not supposed to be a thumbs up. I think it's supposed to be for holding the stock of the rifle. And then he comes with a pistol grip. And right here, they can be interchanged with his long ass rifle. The tripod on it, or actually a bipod. Let's see if that comes. Looks like it should come apart. It does not. I just broke it. Or whoever had it before me broke it. I'm thinking whoever had it before me broke it because I can see the shininess from the glue on that repair there. That's all right. It gives the appearance that it should open, and it does not. So it should just stay as it is. So I'm going to glue it back together myself as well. Or maybe I won't glue it. Maybe I'll just... I don't know. I will glue it. I will glue this back together. But it looks like it should come apart, and it doesn't. It's totally not supposed to. So whoever had this before me probably did the same thing, because it looks like it's already been repaired. It's fine by me, because the I'm going to have like a showcase Sandtrooper, and the others are just going to be army pieces. So it's not that important to me. And like I said, it came to me this manner, and this is just really the secondary piece to it. This is cool enough as it is. First Sandtrooper, the orange shoulder, and I've noticed some of them say commander, some of them say lieutenant or whatever. This guy just says Sandtrooper. Includes DLT 19 heavy blaster rifle. Includes 4 different glove variations to achieve multiple poses. Boots molded into soft vinyl material. Also includes figure stand. That's all it says. Medicom. All right, now we have these Kenner and Kenner from 1997 and 1997. This says Imperial Droid Sandtrooper, and this says Sandtrooper. And I can tell just looking at these through the boxes that they're beefier than this guy. Oh, pardon me. Coffee time. Did you see the Captain America in his World War II outfit? Oh my God. I'm not talking about his Captain America. I'm talking about his U.S. Army. Oh, yeah. That's not made by Hot Toys. It's made by somebody else. That's a must-have as far as I'm concerned. That is made by Pop Toys. So the 1/6 scales that are new this week, we have a Bane from Fire Toys, a 1/6 scale custom Bane figure. We have the Captain Rogers World War II Army SSR uniform by Pop Toys. We have the Apollo 11 astronauts. This is all 1/6 scale. So you can buy them as a kit, all 3 of them, or you can buy them individually. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins. You can get those figures. They have a 1/6 scale Devil May Cry 3 Deontay figure by Asmus Toys. By the way, DID made the astronauts, the 3 from Apollo 11. And they look really good. I guarantee you, I'm going to put huge money on this. Denobi will be getting them. I may be wrong, but I can pretty much tell you right now, Denobi will be getting those figures, no doubt about that. Of course, Venom Pool, there's been some discussion and some people confused as to where he came from. He's from their video game series, Champions, Contest of Champions. He was also shown a little different variant of him in the Deadpool core comics. We see a Venom Pool there. There's no question about it because of the tongues coming out of the venom. It's a little bit different than Contest of Champions. Contest of Champions is Earth TRN 547 or 547 or 517. I forget. But if you were to Google it, go to Marvel Wiki or wherever, you'll find the Venom Pool there. So he is truthfully a canon figure, if you will, if you want to call him that. No question about it. There are people that are saying that Disney's just milking the cow, creating stuff that doesn't exist. He exists. He was before this Disney takeover of Fox or whoever it is that actually owns Deadpool and Sony owns, I imagine, Venom. So you got Venom Pool Rocket, the Iron Patriot, and the Mark 85 Battle Damage. And oh my God, did you see the deleted scene? Oh my God. The deleted scene of after Endgame when Tony passes on, when all the guys take a knee for him. Oh man, they should have left that in. And by not leaving it in, they should have put it into the extended release. That should have been footage that should have been put into the movie. That really needed to be in the movie. God, talk about bringing a tear to my eye. Holy smokes. That was amazing. There's a bunch of one-to-one stuff, which I don't collect. Yeah, I don't have the room for it, but you can get the Mark 85 chest piece. You can get Spider-Man's little spider for his chest. and you can get the Captain Marvel / Nick Fury pager. All those have also been announced in the last week. Of course, I've got all those figures on pre-order, every one of them. I don't get why Hot Toys didn't do a Venom instead of a Venom pool. You know, I wonder that as well. And I, one of the things that I think it might have been is that there's been a little bit of backlash, just a little bit of backlash to the Venom movie. I enjoyed it. And he is Venom, and he talks about Spider-Man and working for the Daily Bugle. And there was originally a storyline that he was in San Francisco after the events that had happened in New York. So he was where he was supposed to be for a story, but his origination story is a little different than what we've already become accustomed to. And he didn't have on him the white spider because he hadn't met Spider-Man yet. And I think there might have been a backlash on that, that if they made him, Hot Toys had made him without the white spider, people might have been angry and not bought the figure, because we're all very finicky, especially when, 1,000 freaking toys come out a year, 100 a month or whatever the hell it is. It sure seems that way. And we're dropping between $200 and $400 on these. We become a little picky as to where it is that we're spending our money. And maybe that is why Hot Toys didn't release a Venom for that. Or maybe there might have been some licensing conflict, because Sony's the one that actually owns, from my understanding, Sony's the one that owns the rights to Venom. And maybe there's something going on there. But I am under the impression that there will be a Venom / Tom Holland encounter. They have to. He's like one of the most famous anti-villains around. Anti-heroes, I guess, would be actually the word. So they would be foolish not to take advantage of that. So let's get this Kenner Sandtrooper out of here and have a look at him. I was surprised, truthfully, when I seen the SDCC footage of the Venom pool. I was like, yeah, that'll never get made. I figured it was one of those that they just show you that they will never make, just to make you angry. And I was like, yeah, that'll never get made. And then, like, what, a week later, he gets announced? What? Are you kidding me? So again, these guys were really inexpensive, considering what a $200 Hot Toy or Sideshow costs. I mean, your troop building, it's all about saving a buck. And literally, that's the case here. Is I need to have 6 Sandtroopers to surround this land speeder, which is actually going to be the center of the collection for that. Here he is, still kind of in the box, but out of the box. He's beefier. He's beefier. He is beefy. The beefy boy. But he'll work good in the background. No doubt about it. And I'm going to keep him with the little white shoulder pad. I can tell you that. Still taped up. You know what? How am I going to get this out of here? Look at this. I'm thinking going to the garage and getting some wire cutters and just snipping this guy out of here instead of trying to unscrew all that. So I will do that. I'll be right back. Use pliers for the wires tie. Cut them from the back. Less painful. You and I are on the same page, dude. Instead of pliers, I'm just going to get the snips. Cut them all up. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. I got the pliers right here, but I don't want to twist them. I'm just going to cut them off. Brought the needle nose also. I'm going to snip them with this. Never mind. Same page, Ghost have. You and I are on the same page. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? Probably not going to keep the box of this guy. You know what I mean? Much less painful, definitely. Again, same thing. He looks like he can totally come apart here. However, I doubt that there's a head under here. Might be. I'm not going to pop his head off because it doesn't look like it's designed to come off. There's like this, I don't know if you can see it there. See that? I don't think it comes off. So we're gonna leave that there. But he's beefier, but he feels like again, he feels just like it looks like a cosplayer under here. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. His rubber band's totally disintegrated over the years. Holding his rifle in his hands. A little bit smaller. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit smaller. Not the same amount of quality. The top one actually is a little more detailed. This actually has a bend to it. No interchangeable hands. And I don't remember, again, I'm just going to check the footage to see how to pose these guys to, look at that, some string or something on the inside of his forearm there. Interesting way of putting this together. They just sewed it onto the figure underneath here. So everywhere, there's little strings where this piece is just sewed on there. Very interesting, huh? And again, there's just like a little guy in there wearing a black stocking suit. Very interesting. So this feels really, the plastic on this is really thin. I mean, really thin. And he appears to be beefier. And he doesn't necessarily want to stand up on his own. And this is all one boot. And I can't find the knee. Can't find the knee in here. He has a hip. I can't find the knee joint. Maybe like a Ken doll. It feels rubbery inside there. He has an elbow joint, shoulder joint, waist articulation, and he can sit. If you need him to sit. Of course, his head moves. There's not any pivot there, just left and right. No up or down. So he will do his job of being filler, but he's very beefy. Very beefy. But when he's in the background, who cares? It's the land speeder is what we're going for. All this is background dressing for the land speeder. There's, I mean, I don't know how many versions of Stormtroopers there are. You know, people complain about all the Iron Men that there have been made. Holy smokes. Have you looked at all the troopers that there are? Death Star troopers, clone troopers, stormtroopers, sand troopers, Imperial Guard troopers. I mean, if you wanted to collect those guys, there's probably a lot more of them than there are Iron Man figures, I'll tell you that much. Another one that kind of gets me is all the Batmen. There's tons of Batman. So when I hear these people complain or whine, oh, Hot Toys is making another Iron Man, go figure. Big frickin' whoop. Go buy you a frickin' Stormtrooper or a Batman and shut the hell up. There's enough of them out there as well. So just because you don't have your Ellen Ripley power loader yet, don't get angry that Hot Toys has made another Iron Man figure. That's my opinion, for whatever it's worth. They're not through building the Iron Man figures, I hope. I want them all until they're done with them all. You're not going to hear me complain, oh, they made another Iron Man figure. Go figure. I'm very happy that they did. I'm missing a handful. You know, the ones that I really don't care about are like 51 through 84. Jeez. We have no idea what those are. You know, one of the things I had always hoped that they would make would be like a movie that had the 9 through 41 in them doing something. Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes each of those guys doing something. So this is some sort of Imperial droid. I don't remember this. Don't know what it's supposed to do. What is this from? When were they doing this? When was this guy in the movie? Help me out. Why is he with a Sandtrooper? Where was he at? I mean, I remember the Sandtroopers in 2 scenes. I remember them when they found the escape pod. And they're out there on the dewback. And then I remember them. These are not the droids you're looking for. I don't remember them from anything else. What is this? Where does this belong? How am I supposed to display it? I don't know. But I'm about 100% positive that this box is going straight into the garbage, because this guy's going to work for me. Well, C-3PO decided he wanted to do a push-up. There's something in the back here about joining the official Star Wars fan club. So I'll take that off. I ripped it. That's it. So it doesn't open, it's just a sheet. I'll show it to you here. Has an address on it, and an 800 number, and a website. Oh, no, not a website, just an address and an 800 number. Free websites. Huh? You see that? There you go. That's the official Star Wars fan club for only $19.95. You could. How long you had these droids? Oh, about a season or two. These are not the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. You can go about your business. You can go about your business. Move along. Move along. Move along. This guy doesn't want to stand up on his own. There we go. We have a backpack. Big difference here. But then again, we're not going to see his back. We're just going to know that his backpack is on there. It just plugs onto a hole. Right there. Landscaper next door. And I'm sure there's someone out there that knows the different ranks of why the shoulder pieces have white or orange or black. And I do not know them. And I'm not embarrassed to say I don't know. Now, I could talk about Iron Man figures all day long. Got them pretty well down pat. I don't know all the Sandtroopers and Stormtroopers and Death Star Destroyer, TIE Fighter, AT Scout drivers. Come on. Who would know all of them? I bet you there's some people out there that do. And I'm not slandering those guys. Like I said, I know all the Iron Mans. Marvel Cinematic Universe Iron Mans. I don't know all the Iron Mans from the comics. Just like I don't know all the Spider-Men either. No, he's not going to stand up on his own with his backpack on. Ain't going to happen. You can say right there. Jawa troopers. They were the ones that killed the Jawas, weren't they? As they were looking for the droids. At least Iron Man is important. Stormtroopers are just background figures, right? I guess in the the new movies, which I'm not that familiar with, a Stormtrooper becomes more prominent in his story, right? And I don't even remember the guy's name or his character's name. And also in the Clone Wars, right? Wasn't there some Stormtroopers that had some importance to them? Rather than that, yeah, they're just background figures, right? It's going right to the garbage. And this is exactly the same thing as this, only not. Exactly the same, only different. Right? Isn't that how it works? This is exactly the same, only different. Exactly the same, only different. And I'm going to say his difference is in the, wait for it, wait for it, shoulder pad, white, orange. And if I remember correctly, at the land speeder scene, there's no white shoulder pads, guys. I will have a white shoulder pad guy. If I remember correctly, there's 2 orange shoulder pad guys and 4 black shoulder pad guys. So if I can't find 4 black shoulder pad guys, or at least 3 shoulder pad guys of a good price, I'll be painting some of these black. That's what I will do to rectify that problem. Again, you know, I don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this. It's so easy to do, as you can imagine. But this guy is going to be exactly the same as the other. I mean, exactly the same. And he's coming out of the box because he's going to work. How long have we had these droids? About a season, 2. These are not the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. He can go about his business. You can go about your business. Move along. Move along. Move along. I think it was added to the droids you're looking for scene in one of the re-released versions. Flies by for a few seconds, I think. Well, you know, it's kind of like this guy right here. I should not have wore a dark shirt with all these dark figures. We know what he is. You know, we see him like scooting around on the ship's little mouse droid. Came with, I think, the BB-8, BB-9E figure, if I remember correctly. And he was so doggone cute. Chewbacca scares the piss out of him as he's scurrying around. It's just a little something to have. Doesn't really do anything. It's just like, oh, look, you have a mouse droid. It's like a friend of mine many years ago built saltwater aquariums. And he... no, I don't know that much about them, saltwater aquariums, but I get to go through stages of getting the aquarium ready for different kinds of fish. You have to start with this type of fish, and then you can advance up to more difficult fish to keep. But anyhow, he had this aquarium that was full of seahorses, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Those are seahorses. That's really cool." And I'm like, they're just all like sitting there not doing anything. They're just hanging out. They're just there. They were just hanging out. They weren't swimming. They were just sitting there. And I was like, don't they like swim around? He goes, no, that's pretty much all they do all day long. Well, that's boring. Who the hell would want a seahorse if they just sit there all day long? And he goes, chicks dig them. And, you know, it's so funny. You know, it's like this guy. You know, we dig him. He's like a necessity, but he's not. So for them to throw him in, just like I imagine this little guy to be thrown in there, he fills in the story or whatever, you know. And I don't even remember this guy. This guy I remember. The Wakanda throne has been paid for. That was on pre-order. What I never got around to getting and I regret not getting it, and I've been trying to find one. Just like I missed out on the camouflage at the beginning of Infinity War, tap on, come on, you're embarrassing me in front of the Wizard Hulk of Tony Stark's suit, where he, pulls the strings, taps on, he turns into the Mark 50 Iron Man. I didn't get a hold of one of those. I wish I'd gotten one of those. I also wish I'd gotten the King T'Challa clothing, because now I have the Wakanda throne, and I don't have a King T'Challa to sit in there. And I intended to order that, and time slipped away, and next thing you know, I didn't get it, and I don't have one. I'm going to have to try to find one, which is going to be difficult. So I need to get me a Wakanda King to sit in the throne. I mean, I could put one of the Black Panthers in there, I could put Killmonger in there, I could put T'Chaka in there, but have him in just that regular black clothing with the white lacy trim on it would have been perfect. And I regret not getting that. Sucks, You can't get everything. You really can't. You try and you try and you try, but there's always going to be that one piece that's going to slip through your fingers. So next week I'll have the Wakanda throne. Nothing else though. I've not heard anything else from anything else in regards to anything else. Cody, wasn't there like a Commander Cody or something like that? Stormtrooper guy from Clone Wars. That was my 41-year-old C-3PO. He just took a dive. Clean off the table here. Same thing but different. So a little less paint splatter on this orange-shouldered Sandtrooper. A little less paint splatter. They've like splattered this paint all over them, which I guess is supposed to be, I don't know, sand stain or something. I really couldn't tell you. This guy is not going to stand up. The added weight of they just don't stand up. They're definitely going to have figure stands. No doubt about that. I'm looking at this. I actually see brush strokes in that. Right there in the back of his leg. You see this? Which goes along with this, hand paintedness of it. So it makes you, realize each one of these really are unique. So no two are exactly alike. That's always cool. Real work of art here. So just a mass-produced figure. M1A1 Abrams, thank you, man. By the way, with that name, I wonder, I play a game called World of Tanks, which has been around for about 10 years, and I just discovered it, which is funny because friends of mine have been telling me about it for years, and I just kind of shrugged it off, and I started playing it last year. And it's a pretty fun little game, and I wonder if you play that yourself, or if you have like a real-life tie-in to the M1A1 Abrams. Obviously, the M1A1 Abrams is not in World of Tanks because it would totally dominate the game. It's a freaking beast of a tank. These backpacks are just a little different. These two are, by the way. So back to the same thing but different. They're not the same. Same casting, different paint schemes. Pretty cool, huh? But then again, who's going to see the backpack? We're not going to see the backpack. The backpack's not going to be seen. Kind of sucks. Stands easier. Used to play years ago, moved to War Thunder. I recommend looking it up. All right. I just might do that. If you played World of Tanks years ago, you would probably be blown away to what it looks like now. I mean, the detail on it is freaking amazing. Every year, video games become more and more detailed. And I'm just blown away by this gosh darn World of Tanks. I mean, it's amazing. Pretty fun. They have the front line once a month, which lasts a week. They have random battles, of course, and clans, and yada, 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 and a big-time vampire, and you spend hours and hours and hours playing the game. That's pretty fun. I enjoy it. These are the same rifles before these two guys. I would say that the orange-shouldered one came from a cleaner mold. The definition on it is sharper, if that makes any sense whatsoever. If you understand what I'm talking about, you can see the detail in it. It's finer detail than the other. So the molds, you know, they get worn out after a while. But they're the same, cast from the same mold. Literally. Those two guys are. And this box is going to go right to the garbage. Wait till you see War Thunder then. All right. I might have to check it out. Was it like a World of Warcraft style game? I mean, what's the premise of it? So I've started my Stormtroopers. I need to get 3 more Stormtroopers. I would definitely be getting some of the more expensive ones, and I need to get me a C-3PO. Probably what I'm leaning on right now is finding me a sideshow C-3PO that I can hack up. Probably what I'm going to do. Probably going to hack up a sideshow C-3PO to put him in the back of the land speeder. As of right now, I think that's my intention. I'm pleased with my Stormtroopers. They work as an army, you know, troop building here. You do the job. Put your better ones in the front and the others in the back. They're just filler. You know, you'll look at the one and you'll be like, ah, cool, blah, 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 whatever else. And your brain will focus on that, and the others will just blend right in, because the land speeder really, in my opinion, is the center of the story here. These aren't the droids we're looking for. Move along. Move along. No wonder this guy is so beat up. He doesn't want to cooperate. He's got a mind of his own. He doesn't want to do what he's supposed to do. Stop it. C-3PO, protocol droid. Act right. Stop acting a fool. By the way, so I guess while I'm at it and I'm showing you the R2s, I'll show you the stormtroopers just got blown over. I'll show you the others. I'm just going to lay these guys down. I'm going to stop trying to stand them up. They don't want to cooperate. They need to be using a pose stand to stand. Just not going to fight them anymore. Like World of Tanks, in the same way the Battlefield games compares to Call of Duty, realism versus arcade sort of relation, Thunder being the realistic one, also spot on Stormtrooper impression. Thank you. So let me show you these other Astromechs that I have. I don't remember the names of them. RJ54 something. Imperial Astromech. And the RQ25 or something, I don't remember. Imperial Astromech. And from the newer movies, I think this was from the newer movies, the CV25 or whatever he was. I don't remember. I mean, it's really not important to me to remember exactly what their numbers are. They're cool enough as it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to know what their numbers are to be able to appreciate these guys. So these guys are like super shiny, and he is like super matte in appearance. And they're like kind of black and gold or copperish, and he's like black and silver. So that's those guys. And then, of course, they called this their unpainted prototype droid. So, but it's not really a prototype droid because the prototype droid really didn't look like an R2-D2. This is straight up an R2-D2 that they've like brush stroked onto it, like a wash, more or less. So he's silver-ish, grayish, if you will. R2-D2, only not an R2-D2. But he is, because he's the R2-D2 prototype droid by Sideshow. So all these are Sideshows. I've already shown you the two R2s by Sideshow. This is the R2-D2 from Hot Toys. And with the die-cast dome, where these are all plastic domes. And again, these are not interchangeable. Nothing opens on this guy. Nothing. There is another one that Hot Toys is making that totally opens up and comes with every accessory the R2's ever done, apparently. That's what it appears to be. It looks like he's got everything. All this guy does is whistle and beep and light up. Some of these guys light up, some of these do not. They don't make any whistling. This guy actually whistles and beeps. The Hot Toys one does. Also, what's important on these is that, if I remember correctly, every single one of them, you can remove this piece and put it on either frontwards or backwards, because in the production of the movies, sometimes they'd have the left legs on the right side and the right legs on the left side, so you would have these in one way or the other. So you can swap those out, and that's always fun and interesting in an R2 unit. There's an R2 unit that I keep wanting to buy that actually has the little leggings that Kenny stood in when he was standing there. And I'm thinking about, looks like we had a temporary glitch there. I've not seen Star Wars Solo, and I don't think I've seen the last Star Wars movie either. I just watched Star Wars Solo. I didn't watch it sooner because everybody was pooping on it, but it was actually a good movie. You know, you're not the first person that I've heard that from who said that it actually was a pretty good movie. But I've not seen the last Star Wars movie. I came to the realization that Star Wars fans just like to poop on Star Wars stuff. Then 10 years later, they like it. You know, it's funny. That's how the first three movies happened, too. You know, when the first movie came out, it really wasn't a good movie, really. But we've accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with Star Trek Enterprise. When Enterprise first came out, oh my goodness, we hated it because it didn't appear to be canon. But then we've accepted it. So I don't know. It's like the Captain Marvel character, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. The movie was pretty good for an origination movie. You know what I'm saying? And even though she caught a lot of flack for this or that or whatever else, I'm glad I've seen the movie. I'm gonna buy the Captain Marvel figures, definitely. I haven't seen the new Star Wars either. Probably going to watch that next. Yeah, and that's one of those things I say I need to get around to watching it. Um, so these are the Astromechs here that I have, in addition to the two R2s that I already showed you, and the R5D4 that I already showed you, and then the other ones that I have are the little, I guess they're Astromechs, the little ball droids. I don't understand what the purpose was of them even making those. I don't even care, really. So the first one, you had to buy Ray in order to get him. And so that's why I have a Ray figure, which I turned into a Fison. And this is him. He comes with some extra little pieces. He's kind of a brownish, and he doesn't really sit well on his own. He has a little base stand that you have to pretty much, for the most part, sit him on. And the head is movable about, so you can put the ball in any way, and the head will just sit on top of it any way that it happens to roll. But it's not really a practical thing to have about without him being on his stand. And he comes with this little sand stand, which wraps around the hexagonal figure stand for Ray. So he would sit right there on his little sand stand as such. So the problem that I had with this figure was that he didn't come with a little thumbs up flame. I was like, how come he didn't come with the flame? It's really like the cutest thing that this little guy does. So when they re-released it, and you could buy it either as a kit with BB-8 and BB-9, or you could just buy them separately. I bought the kit, got them both. BB-9 being the Imperial droid, and he doesn't have any arms on him, but he lights up inside, little bitty lights on him, which are neither here nor there. And he comes with a little stand to sit on, because same problem. You know, he just rolls around, but it's still a little magnet that will sit on any way that you happen to have the ball standing. You can place this little cap on him, and then they re-released the BB-8. And this time he did come with his little flame thumb right there. And he's a different color than the first release. Oops. He's orangish, whereas the first one is brownish. I don't know if you can see the two color differences there, but he's white and orange, and he's white and brown. Can you tell there the difference in colors? And again, it's a magnet. It's a strong magnet. I can feel it wanting to pull out of my hands this high off of him. Not so strong that you can lift the body up from him, but there's definitely an attraction there. So that's my Astromech collection. And I was hoping to be able to add to that the R2A6 and the R4LO from Hasbro, but they're not a 1/6 scale, so they will not be going to my collection. And if you guys want them, let me know. We can work something out. Heck, I probably might even just, I don't know. Trust me, I'm not going to try to make any money out of them. I will give them to you for pennies on the dollar just to get them out of here. So if you're interested, hit me up. Email me. Write me a letter to the P.O. box, which is in the bottom of the in the description. What else have we got going on? Anything else, guys? Waiting on the figures that are coming out soon, and our pre-order lists, and I guess that's that. Gosh, that looks really washed out. I hope it's not. I hope you can see the figures well. By the way, I don't really talk much about my personal life, but my wife's back in the hospital again. She went in last night. So after this, I will be going to go see my wife at the hospital and spend some time with her. So thanks, guys, for popping in. And I love every one of you. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. And that is my work. So I will see you all later. Peace.